Good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm late, but I'm here. I'm late, but I'm here. I finally made it. Come on in. For the few of y'all who, come on around. Come on in. Come on in. Oh, let me see. Scroll. C Breezy. Good afternoon. Representing Boston. Erica. Good afternoon. Representing Reading. Miss Pittsburgh. Good afternoon. I'm sorry, I'm listening to Wyatt. Listening to Wyatt. And people crazy out here. People crazy out here. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Cause I don't duck stuff. So we'll talk about it. Anthony. Anthony in the house representing Clifton. Good afternoon. Nick. Good afternoon. Representing Blue Ash. Preston representing the barbershop. All right. Miss Pittsburgh say she checking in from Pittsburgh. All right. Representing Pittsburgh. Lewis, good afternoon. Representing Sharonville. Your son Xavier's birthday today. Well, happy birthday, Xavier. You can't beat that. At least I'm assuming it's Xavier. It might be Xavier. But happy birthday. You can't beat that. Brent, representing Dallas. Brent representing Dallas. Good afternoon, Brent. Lamont in the house representing Westwood. All right. Can't beat that either. Thank you, Lamont, for checking out the show. We got Jacqueline representing Coleraine. She know we beefing. But good afternoon, Jacqueline. Good afternoon. Dwayne in the house representing Mount Airy. Good afternoon, Dwayne. We got Shirley in the house. Shirley in the house representing Westchester. Good afternoon, Shirley. Terry, good afternoon, representing downtown. Pat in the house representing Westwood. All right. Sean, good afternoon. I'm not sure who you're saying good afternoon to. Typo. I understand. Typos happen. They happen. Good afternoon, Sean. Ray Walk, representing Hamilton. All right. I used to live in Hamilton. Good afternoon. Shahara in the house. Good afternoon, Shahara. She's representing Bond Hill. All right. Tria representing Columbia Township. Good afternoon, Tria. Myosha in the house. Why you always beefing with someone? Jacqueline know why we beefing. I don't want to say, but she know why we beefing. And the beef don't stop until the situation is solved. And it's 100% her fault. Other than that, I'll be beefing with people because they start beef with me. Other than that, like, I technically, could I say Jacqueline started beef with me? I think I started this beef. She just did what she felt like she had to do. But because she felt like what she had to do, we beefing. She know what it is. But other than that, it's usually people starting beef with me. I'll be minding my own business. Fame representing Eaton, Ohio today. All right, Fame in the house. Good afternoon. We got Diane in the house representing Gulf Manor. All right. I used to live in Gulf Manor too. Pamela in the house. Why do I say that? Nobody cares that I used to live in the community that they currently live in. Like, it's not like, oh my God, Emanuel used to live here. He walked these streets. Nobody's thinking that. Veronica, good afternoon, from the Hill. Which hill? I don't know which hill you're from. I don't know. Brenda, representing Fairfield. Good afternoon. Let's see. Myosha says the beef won't stop. Somebody is saying, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't read Pamela's entire comment. Uh, Pamela says, good afternoon. Checking in from North Avondale. Feeling very low today. My brother passed away this morning. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully, even just for a brief moment, we can kind of put a smile on your face. Of course, we can't take away the grief, but so sorry to hear that. I'll be praying for you and your family. And I don't just say that. I really mean it. So I will pray for you and your family. Let's see. Vincent says, what's good? He's representing Middletown today. All right. Got Crystal in the house, representing Bond Hill. Janice is here, my favorite. Good afternoon, Janice. Let me see. Lewis says chat. Oh, okay. The chat overlay. Thank you. Bonita, representing Roselawn. Good afternoon. We got Stephanie representing Roselawn. Good afternoon. Yissy Reed representing Bond Hill. Good afternoon. And let me see. I think that's about it. Furious Styles 7 representing my territory, my kingdom. Okay. Oh, let's see. Darren representing Madisonville. All right. I think I'm caught up so far. Anybody else who comes in, who watches this later, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever it is when you watch it, I hope everything goes good with you. Yesterday I had to cut the show short. Little baby is fine. She's fine. I don't know what happened yesterday, but she is fine. T. Mikey G, representing Avondale. Good afternoon. Ron Dula in the house, representing Bond Hill, I guess. I don't know. Ron is already on one. I haven't even said anything yet, Ron. Ron say, we sick of your shit in Bond Hill. Ron on one already. All right. DeWanda in the house. Good afternoon. And Steban, good afternoon. All right. Now, y'all know yesterday I was talking a little bit about that daggone horrendous Good Time show. But before I go any further, I'm going to only address this Marquetta thing one more time. Marquetta, I let you on the show. You talked for 30 minutes. I thought we had a good little back and forth debate. Or at least I feel like it was 30 minutes. I can't 100% say, but it was a long time. I let you say what you wanted to say and had to say. We don't agree, and that's fine. But now she run around telling people I hung up on her, I done blocked her, I done called her names, and I done did all of this kind of stuff. None of that stuff is true. Well, I guess technically I did hang up on you. But that's because I had to move on. And the show was pretty much over. So at some point you have to move on. But I didn't actually call you names. Some people did call you names. I actually defended you and your position. Just that we didn't agree. Now look, I'm going to tell y'all, here's the rules here. I have simple rules. Say hello and tell me where you checking in from. I don't even really enforce that one. I just encourage that. You can call in, but try to make some sense. And try to actually have a conversation when you get on the air. Like actual back and forth. Not just, go bonkers and all of that kind of stuff. And we can agree. We can disagree. We can agree that we disagree. We can agree that we agree. We can disagree that we agree. But that's it. And we're going to have a conversation. But I'm not going to, you're not gonna be on here. Number one, you don't dominate me when I allow you onto the platform. I'm not doing that. And don't run around telling lies on me. Like, look, if I get the better of you in a debate, then I got the better of you. Next time, you probably get the better of me. You can't just run around lying on people because you lost a little debate. Or not even lost. I just got the best of you that particular time. And I think it's because your position on that topic is ridiculous. And if y'all remember, pretty much this was her position. I was saying racism don't exist. She came in to say, no, racism does indeed exist. But if you're white and you do something to someone because they're black, that's not racism. But if you're black and you do something to someone, then that is racism. I said, that's a ridiculous position. It is. But I mean, I really do. I hear this echo. Like, there is a group of people, I'm going to call them kind of racial apologists. And I don't understand them. And it's hard to try to understand them because they don't really want to have conversations about it. They've made up their mind that black people are bad, or that a lot of black people are bad, or that white people are good. I'm not even 100% sure what they've made their mind up. But if you talk about racism, like, if you could think of your most classic form of racism, and you point it out, instead of talking about that instance of actual classic racism, you know what they're going to ask you? But what if it was a black person that did the same thing? What do that have to do with what we're talking about? I'm going back a little bit. A guy was chased down in the middle of the street because he was black. They put a shotgun on him and blasted him away. And people's response to that is, what if it had been black people that did the same thing? Why are you talking about that? I'm talking about that at the time because it was an issue that had just happened and people were seeking justice. Would it have been racism if black people had did the same thing? Then of course you have to ask the question, because I believe racism ain't just acts of violence. Racism it's acts of violence based on the person's race. Right? So if you say, oh, if anybody would have been walking in the neighborhood, then they would have shot him, killed him. But it wasn't anybody. It was a black person, and they did it because he was black. But what if it had been somebody black? But that's not what we're talking about. And why is your go-to to defend racist acts? What if black people did it? How is that a go-to to defend racism? But let me answer the stupid question. What if black people did the same thing? Did the black people do it based solely on the race of the person? If black people did it based solely on the race of the person, then yeah, it was racism. Got me. Now, how does that defend white racism? I don't understand the mindset of these people. I don't. Police officers torture these couple black people. And my understanding of that is because they were black people black men dealing with white women. They torture them. Racism. It's racist. But what if Tyree Nichols, what about that? We're not talking about that. Wasn't that racism? Did they do it because he was black? We don't know why they did it. Then you can't say it's racism. But why are you even bringing that into the conversation? What is it in you that feels like you have to defend white racists so much that you have to go to find a black person to try to say, well, he's just as bad? We know it's bad, black people. What in you makes you feel like you have to defend white racism? Ron.
Man, she wasn't saying that.
What?
She wasn't saying, and she wasn't defending white racism.
Well, you can't speak for what? Hold on. Ron,
based upon what she was saying,
Ron,
that what I gathered. Ron. Okay.
You can't speak for what someone else was trying to do in their mind. So how about you just speak for you?
I'm not speaking for what she's saying in her mind.
Well, you 100% did when you said she wasn't doing this.
No, when she was saying that, from what I gathered, her opinion was she was not defending racism. She was expressing, what about the situations that concern our community?
But if racism concerns our community, and look, Ron, here's what I would say. If you say to me, Emanuel, somebody broke in my house last night and, tied me up and beat me up, right? And my response to you is, well, what about the people that broke into your neighbor's house? Why am I even bringing that up, bro? You just brought to me an issue that you feel like need to be addressed. Why do I have to equate that with something to minimize what just happened to you?
Okay, I can explain.
Please.
See, we don't have to worry. We don't have to worry about the racists that. How can I explain this? Okay, you grew up in the 80s, your teenage years. I used to date this girl from Norwood.
Hold on a second. Hold on, Ron. I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay.
Furious Style 7 say she just explained it on Wyatt Live show. She was not defending white racism. She was saying that black people should be just as outraged when it come to us killing us. Well, she told a lie on Wyatt show, a flat out, blatant, bold-faced lie on Wyatt show. So if she would lie about me having blocked her, then she would lie about what she was talking about. So she lied on Wyatt's show. And that's not me calling names. That's me telling the truth. Don't lie on me and then expect me to be like, oh, she lied. And she was defending white racism. 100%. For no reason. Go ahead, Ron.
Okay. I like I told you before, I've been listening to Wyatt's show in and out. So I didn't hear her say she blocked you or whatever the situation was. But like I said, she was the analogy that you gave. What if somebody broke in the house or whatever? I used to date a girl in Norwood when I was in high school. I wouldn't go to Norwood to see her because I already knew, what the situation was in Norwood. But I used to be a criminal back in the day. So, you know, if I'm taking advantage of black folk, and they got to be concerned about me. They not gonna be concerned about the white folk in KKK land in Norwood. They gonna be concerned about me and what I'm doing in that neighborhood, in that neighborhood where I'm from,
What?
you know, and doing the things that I'm doing
What?
because that affects them. The Norwood don't affect. I can say Norwood don't affect Avondale
Ron,
in the
Ron,
in the 80s.
Ron, let me
In
say
80s.
this. First, I only halfway understand what you're saying, but I think I understand what you're trying to say. So let me say this. Here is a
Yeah.
one way to have that conversation, Ron. Ron says, hey, don't go over there to Norwood because they're racist, right? Instead
Okay.
of me saying, well, what about Avondale? To minimize you talking about racism, I can say, Ron is right. They are racist over there, and something need to be done about it. At the same time, there are
But
issues in
see,
Avondale, and those need to be dealt
hmm
with. But trying to say Avondale issues kind of make Norwood issues unimportant is just ridiculous. They're both important issues. I say this all the time. The fact I don't understand how we can't, some of us, black people, can't understand that different people deal with different things. I never hear the Cancer Association get mad at the Heart Association. And they say, I've never heard someone where, there's a situation for the American Cancer Association. They're trying to fight cancer. And then hear somebody from the American Heart Association coming to one of their meetings and screaming, but what about the heart? Y'all worried about cancer, but people dying of heart attacks. What about the heart? No, you deal with what you dealing with. You dealing with cancer. Why do I have to bring in your heart attacks to diminish cancer? It doesn't do that. Let them deal with cancer. And then you got your own organization over here dealing with heart attacks. And then the AIDS people come to the heart people. What, y'all talking about hearts? What about AIDS? Why don't we do something about AIDS? Y'all ain't talking about AIDS because that's not what they're talking about. And you can't say, well, AIDS is more important than the heart. Well, no, the heart is more important than cancer. Well, no, that's the kidneys is more important than it is. There is space all over the place for people to deal with different issues. And sometimes we, as groups of us, get caught up with, well, they talking about this, but they ain't talking about that. If you feel so strongly that that needs to be talked about, talk about it. But don't get mad because he ain't talking about it. Don't get mad because she ain't talking about it. You talk about it.
okay. So, I get all excited, and frustrated, when I be talking, because like I said, you be facetious and condescending.
Give me
But
an example of being condescending.
just give me a minute. But when I be fussing and when I get real passionate and stuff like that, it's not. I told you a few weeks ago that I don't have friends. I don't kick it with nobody and all that.
You did say that.
And I try to keep it down to a minimum because black people frustrate me. Black folks frustrate me. I'm getting frustrated with us.
Oh.
I'm including myself.
Some black people frustrate me, not all of them.
I mean, it's time out for us to not be moving in one direction. It is. And this is my opinion, and I know how Marquetta feels. Well, no, I don't know how Marquetta feels. I think I think that's how Marquetta feels.
All right.
Being frustrated with black folk and trying to get black folk on one page, to move in a direct manner, and I get frustrated with that shit. And Pamela Kenny addressed me about me cussing and stuff. And, I'm just frustrated. I mean, and I don't want to bring politics into it. And I'm not going to bring politics into it. I'm not going to bring politics into it. But we just got to move with one mind, because you got to see what everybody can see what's around us. We see this stuff.
Ron,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with the idea that black people have to move with one mind. We're not.
That's what she's frustrated about. That's what I'm frustrated about. That's what a lot of black folks are frustrated about. Even Sister V. Sister V said that, basically said the exact same thing. I spoke with Iris Rowley a few months ago, in city council. She said, black folks got to figure out what they want. We got to figure out what we doing. And we got to figure out how we moving. It's all those immigrants that came up here, and you can say that we're not getting replaced, but those people in Chicago and in Denver and in New York, they feel replaced. They are replaced. And we got to figure out how we move. We got to figure out, what direction we going to go in as a people. Because
I don't know that it's fair to tell all black people that we all have to think alike, feel alike.
I didn't say think alike.
Okay, well, that would be moving with one mind. We're not all going to agree
with one purpose. With one purpose.
Some of us are pro-life.
Not with one mind.
Are pro-choice.
With one purpose. With one purpose. With one purpose. Can I replace that? Not with one mind. With one purpose.
Well, it all depends on what the purpose is. And because again, if all of our purposes is for us to move forward, to be treated fairly, to be treated equally, to have an opportunity to succeed, you might not be able to tell that by the way that we all respond, because we all respond differently, right? Like, let me tell you this. I truly 100% believe, that Randall Wyatt wants to see black people succeed. He wants to see us successful. He wants to see us all move forward. He wants to see us all be responsible, right? Yeah. I feel that same way. But me and Ron, I'm talking about you. But me and Wyatt don't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, even though we both want to end up at the same goal. We both go about it two different ways. So you might look at it and say they don't have a common purpose. No, we have a common purpose. We just have two different ways of attaining that same goal. It doesn't make me right and him wrong, or him right and me wrong. It just makes us different.
We gonna need all of our crazies to get through this. We gonna need all our crazies. Like I said, I'm not talking about. Like I said, I said it wrong. Not one mind, because like I said, we gotta. It takes all of us, but we gotta do it with one purpose. like you said, you and Wyatt, got the same goal. That's one purpose. And if we gotta make sure we figure out how to get everybody on. Now we when I say everybody, we ain't gonna get everybody to go to and I'm not saying do what we say do or do what I say do, but we got to move with one purpose. The Biden administration. I got to point it out. Overnight, they passed a student thing for Title IX for LGBTQ plus rights in school. It's up from the Article 7, which Lyndon B. Johnson did for the Civil Rights Act. So they passed that for the LGBTQ community. They still haven't done anything with the Voting Rights Act, the John Lewis bill. Now people are taking excuses. Oh, well, we don't have we don't have the votes and all of that. They had the Senate and Congress. They had everything in 2020. They had everything for 2 years. They had total control.
Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember. So okay. I don't know that to be true.
Okay, that's fine. But they had total control for the first 2 years of the Biden administration, and those things were I think that they were still writing, for George Floyd, and they still haven't passed the bill. They ain't passed.
Ron, may I ask you this?
Yes.
Why won't the House right now pass, say, the George Floyd?
But you know what? You ignoring. Now see, this is the thing, and that's what gets me so frustrated.
What?
Wait. You ignoring the fact that Democrats had everything, and they still didn't do nothing for black folks.
And they should have.
With Kamala Harris,
if they had everything, which again, I can't remember if they had everything.
But they did. Because you don't know, don't mean they didn't.
I didn't say they didn't. I said I don't remember. That's an honest answer.
But why would you take and switch it over there? Oh, how come why didn't they do it?
No. Here's what I asked you because
but why?
You asked me. I'm trying to answer your question. Can I answer?
Yep.
Because I don't remember, and so you're talking about what may or may not have happened in the past, and I'm saying what can happen right now.
Wow.
So all I'm asking you, I'm not saying that Biden was right. I'm not excusing the Congress for not passing.
How come any other black folks or Democrats haven't reintroduced it?
Well, why should they have to when the Republicans can introduce it?
Oh, wow.
Can't they?
Wow.
But maybe I don't understand. Can Republicans introduce it?
You still on that.
Ron. Ron. What year is it? What year is it?
I know what year it is.
I'm asking you. I might be confused. What year is it?
I know what year it is.
No, I'm asking for my
no,
because I know that you know. I'm asking you to tell me what year is it?
No, why? Why would you ask
because
me?
I want to know.
Why would you ask me a rhetorical question?
It's not rhetorical. It's actual. What year is it?
Why would you ask me a question?
Because I want the answer.
Why would you ask me a question? Why? But
I want to know what year it is.
You're trying to make that old bullshit.
Ron.
And that's what's so.
I'm asking a simple question.
2026.
It's 2026.
Yep.
And who controls the Congress right now? I mean, the House of
I don't
Representatives.
know. I don't know. It's 2026.
All right. The Republicans right now, since you don't know, this one I know. The Republicans
There you go.
control the House of Representatives.
There
Now,
you go.
now this one, I'm not 100% sure. Is it possible for the Republicans to bring that bill, introduce it, and get a vote on it?
Fuck a Republican. I'm talking about black folk. And see, this is, and you talking about Republican, Democrat right now.
I thought you.
I'm talking about black folk. Now, how come now?
I thought you just
to do your point. How come a black Republican has not introduced that? I don't.
That's a good question.
Know. And but see, what the trip is? No, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Because they not planning to give black folks shit.
They who? The Republicans or who?
Just because they look like us don't mean they for us.
Wait, who? Wait.
That's government, period.
Who are we talking about?
Government, period.
What are we talking about?
No, you said, you said, what are you talking about? You asked me about why hasn't Republicans done it. I said, how come
I asked you, could they introduce it and vote on it?
Yeah. And how come a black Republican, has not introduced it?
I don't know.
Because
that's a good
everybody
question.
Everybody that look like us ain't for us.
True.
That's Republican, Democrat.
Very true.
Everybody.
There you go.
Everybody.
That's a great answer. We agree.
My thing is.
We agree.
My thing is. And see, I be hollering about Trump. It's not nothing to do with Trump per se. But I feel like, now it's just my opinion, I feel like it's a last stance for black folk. It's a last stance for them. The migrants that came up here are from all over the fucking place. From all over the place. We don't know what's going to happen. And of course, we don't know what's going to happen in the future anyway.
Well, you do.
But the potential for all hell to break loose is right there at our front door.
That is very true.
And we got to figure out what the fuck we doing as black folk. Now, you don't have to move with one mind. Fucking, it take all of us. Shit, we gonna have to do it. It's gonna take all of us.
I agree.
But we gotta move with one purpose. And everybody bullshitting around with this motherfucking Biden shit.
You brought up Biden. I didn't bring up Biden.
Wait a minute. But see, but see, you don't.
I didn't.
And I'm not criticizing you. It's not critical.
That's all right. You can be critical.
But you don't do the research that I do.
That's true.
You don't do the and well, no, I can't. I'll take that back.
I said it's true. You be looking at them deep conservative sites, getting deep down in there. You probably know how to get on the dark web. I don't.
You own that old bullshit because I look at everything. And what's a trippy is I look at everything based upon what Scripture tells me, based upon what I see. Based upon what I see and where we are. Now you can take and do that conservative, all that old bullshit if you want to. But it's a trick. You know what?
Are you conservative?
I accepted the fact.
Ron, are you conservative?
I think so.
So why would it be bullshit for me to say something about you looking at conservative stuff?
Because you're trying to paint a picture of me looking at only conservative things.
But you just said
I get what your slick shit is, but I don't know why you do that slick shit, because it's so important for us to move with one purpose. But you seem like
I know you're conservative based on previous conversations
away from that
and
purpose.
on some of the sites and stuff that you mentioned that you go on and some of the stuff that they say. It is not BS, it is reasonable for me to assume that a conservative guy who looks at and quotes
I said,
conservative
yeah,
websites
yeah,
and news sites
yeah,
looks at
yeah, yeah, yeah,
conservative websites and
yeah.
news sites. It's not
But
an
see,
insult to
you
say that a
won't.
conservative is conservative.
No, it's not an insult.
Right.
But you trying to paint that picture of me to
But it's an
where
actual picture.
to where, and well, for the left, everybody looks crazy if they're conservative.
I never said you was
You know,
crazy.
no,
I
no,
said you're
I didn't.
conservative.
I said on the left, on the left, on the left, right now, if you're conservative, you're crazy, a racist, a national white. Wait, I'm a nationalist, white nationalist,
I don't
or
know.
whatever.
I don't think you're a white
That's
nationalist.
that's what it is. But see, again, and I ain't gonna take up too much of
I
your time. I
I
always get so
did think you were a conservative, but since that's an insult, I'll take it back. Ron is 100% not a conservative.
Okay. I mean, like I said, I think so. But, like I said, we have to move not with one mind because it takes all of us, but we got to move with one purpose because now I'll point something right. One more thing. I want to point something out to you.
All right.
You remember when I was talking about little baby Jesus and the star lining up in the west? You remember that?
I don't.
Okay. Hey, it's a lot of people. I know a lot of people on your chat, and go to church. So if you go to church, you got to hear a preacher. I would assume that some of you had read the Bible.
Okay.
I would assume some of you have read the book of Revelation. Now, and the book of Daniel, the book of Revelation, the book of Ezekiel, the everything is lining up. Everything is lining up.
Okay.
We got to move with one purpose.
All right.
I know that everybody ain't going, everybody ain't going to go. But we got to make up our mind what we doing as black folk to move with one purpose.
One purpose.
Because something's going to happen, and we need to make sure that we got each other. 100.
All right. That was Ron. He summed it up. We got to move with one purpose. I'm not. I know a lot of the well, I say a lot. It's only like two, but the few conservatives, apparently that's a bad word, who listen to the show probably think I'm 100% in the tank for Joe Biden and he can't do no wrong and all that kind of stuff. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. But right now in 2026, the Republicans have control of the House. And they could, all of the stuff that some of my black Republican or conservative friends are saying, well, why didn't they pass this and why didn't they pass that? The Democrats didn't pass this and the Democrats didn't pass that. That means they don't really care about you. Democrats didn't pass George Floyd. Democrats didn't pass John Lewis. I mean, they don't care about you. Well, right now, your party controls one of the houses. And so they could pass it and prove that they care about us. Why isn't that a fair question just to ask? Because if the standard of caring about us is passing George Floyd and John Lewis, and you're saying Democrats don't care about us, Republicans do, but they haven't done whatever is the standard of caring about us. So isn't it a fair question or fair to wonder aloud? Republicans got control. Why don't they pass it? I think it's just a fair question. Not to say, oh, it's okay that Joe Biden didn't do it. Republicans, no, Joe Biden, if and again, I truly don't remember if when Joe Biden got in office, the House and the Senate were under Democratic control. And if somebody would tell me that it was, I'll look it up even. Then okay, but it's wrong. It's wrong. They should have passed it. It should have been signed. But it's 2026 now. And the Republicans are running the House. They could pass it. How about if you want my vote, Republican Party, pass John Lewis, pass George Floyd? I'll be looking at them seriously like, wait a minute, they might actually want to do something. It's not out of the, out in left field thing to wonder aloud. Brent.
Yahtzee. I'm calling Yahtzee. I think I figured it out.
Oh. Tell me.
Now, I know I pick it wrong at times, but I think part of my problem was that I wasn't taking notes with what he was saying. So I attempted to write down a few notes, but I think it's all going to come together here.
All right.
But number one, we know Ron doesn't like to talk about politics.
He does not.
He does not like to talk about politics, even though I'll use a Lincoln Ware number. 90% of his call was about politics. But here, okay, let's see if we got this here. Okay, here we go. Black people need to have one purpose.
Yes.
That's we got to start there. We need to have one purpose, and the reason why we need to have one purpose is, we got to do a quick edit here. Is that the Democrats didn't pass the John Lewis bill or the George Floyd bill. They did have control of the White House, the House, and the Senate.
Okay.
But with that, none of the Republicans voted for either one of those bills, including our cousin Tim Scott, who was the one leading up on the Republican side on the George Floyd bill, which all he did was drag it out and then ultimately killed the whole deal. But that goes into the next point, is that Black Republicans didn't bring it up, and that we can't trust Black people. And Donald Trump is our savior. So that's it. Our one purpose is don't trust each other, but trust Donald Trump, who is our savior, who I am almost certainly sure he has never read the Bible, let alone the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution. So just remember that all, and I think that's part of what irritated a lot of people in the chat, even with Marquetta, to tie that into it, is that a lot of what she was saying was don't trust Black people. Don't trust Black men, especially Black men, which is like, you want us to be together, but you're telling us not to trust the very people who you said should be leading us into this togetherness. So, if that's not other people saying, that's my stance on that. That's the only real problem I have with Marquetta. Her passion is always there. She's very passionate, but yeah, she tends to, once you don't agree with exactly the path she wants to go down, because it did seem like it was just coming back over and over and over again, like you're in one of those roundabouts that just went nowhere. But yeah, but that's all I want to say on that.
I didn't agree with what she was saying, and I don't have a problem with her calling in and expressing herself anytime. But now you run around just lying, saying that I did things that I didn't do, and that bothers me. There's no reason to lie on me. Don't agree with me. You can call me, you can say I'm silly, because I am silly. You can say I don't talk about shit, because a lot of times I don't talk about shit. You can say all of that kind of stuff. But once you get the line on me, talking about I done blocked you, talking about I called you names, and all of that kind of stuff, as if I didn't give you an opportunity to talk, although you was on for like 30 minutes. I don't like. Like, I always tell people, if you want a reason to not like me, just pay attention to me for a while. You'll find a reason. honest reason to not like me. But you ain't got to make nothing up.
Yeah, just like if Marquetta would have said you had a crispy hairline, I call bullshit on that too. Oh, I had to get that one in there. But yeah. So let's switch from politics. Yesterday you were talking about the reboot of Good Times, or that animated series on Netflix.
Yes.
And when I first watched the trailer, I was like, ain't no way in the hell I'm watching this, because it just seemed like, every possible negative black stereotype in that minute and a half or whatever it was. But after hearing your niece, Denise or D Nice, we'll call her D Nice. After hearing D Nice argue with you about it, I was like, well, let me go ahead and at least check out one episode. And I can honestly say it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it is still bad.
I thought it was worse.
I thought it was going to be a lot. When he started off singing the Good Times thing in the shower with a roach, I was like, oh, Lord, what is this? But they made the father, whose kids do you think those are? I think they're JJ's kids.
I'm not sure whose kids they are. All I know, they keep saying that James Evans is their grandfather, but in that first episode, I did not hear them say my daddy is or my mama is, so I don't know.
Yeah, and because the father, I'm assuming that's since he said that's his grandfather. Goodness, I'm assuming that's JJ, because JJ was the stupid one out of all the kids. He was the stupidest one, and for dude who's a taxi driver or one of them bootleg cab drivers or whatever, just to take tokens and all this, a $24 bill as payment, he ain't too bright. But the drug dealing baby who's snorting coke before his baptism, you would never see a cartoon like that with a white baby out in the hills of or the Appalachian Hills of Ohio or Kentucky with a bag of fentanyl, snorting that before they do a hillbilly wedding, something like that. You wouldn't see that. But it was bad. I fell asleep halfway through the second episode because it just wasn't piquing my interest, and I'm an old man now. Once I get past 10 o'clock, good luck on me finishing any show. That itis after that meal starts to creep in. But
I barely powered through or pushed through or whatever that first episode. I could not bring myself to even attempt to watch episode 2. Maybe it gets better as it goes on, but it was worse than I thought it would be.
Yeah, and I take the opposite approach. It could have been a whole lot worse, but it didn't make me turn it off. But I don't know how. Maybe Steph Curry is involved with it, but he also did get involved with that FTX cryptocurrency company that went belly up, and the dude is spending I forget how many years they gave him in prison for the fraud that he committed. So, but that just shows you that even with the executive producer roles, a lot of cases you just a name associated to the project, just to try to give it some pub, and those athletes and stars like that, they don't pay attention to none of that. They just see a way as, oh, we'll give you, $500,000. Okay, stamp your name on it.
But somewhere along the line, somebody gotta, I don't know who it is. Somebody gotta say somewhere down the line, like, this is bad. Like, hold on. Did anybody read the entire script? Did anybody? I know you just did your voice part, and you just did your voice part, and you just gave up the money, and you just this, and you wrote it, but maybe you didn't write it this way. You animated, but at some point it all got put together, and somebody watched it and said, go. Pharaoh's ghost should have came and said, hey, can we wrap a case, young fella? Yes.
And like maybe you don't want to be have your name associated with this project. But yeah, just looking at, there is nowhere in the world I would want to be associated with it. I know, the comedians and all that, they just see it, in a lot of respects as a check. They're transactional. If it's, they'll probably take the position. We're all about the joke. We don't care who it offends. But with that offense, you have to see the potential fallout of that offense. Whether that is, comedy, or whether that's music or entertainment, or whatever it is. Are you going to allow that paycheck they give you to compromise your morals and thus pollute the minds of those people that look like you, who you claim you love? So,
All right.
but yeah. All right, but that's it. Well, no wrestling report this week, LaDonna. There's not much a note to say. We'll wait till after the next pay-per-view, maybe, or something big happens. Oh, one other thing. Were you going to talk about the dude that lit himself on fire outside of the Trump trial?
I don't know what to say about that. Like, does anybody know what the purpose was? Like, was he pro-Trump? Was he anti-Trump? And how is setting yourself on fire sending any sort of message? I don't understand.
I have no idea, but I did find a video that I didn't post that actually showed the man on his knees with flames all around him, and then he eventually falls over and starts screaming. And that's just like...
Yeah, eventually that shit hurt. You know what I'm saying? You on fire.
But whether he's for Trump, against Trump, or whatever it is, whatever the case may be, man, I'm pretty sure my religious convictions ain't that strong. For me to pour alcohol, gasoline all over my body and set myself ablaze, I ain't got that kind of commitment.
No.
So, maybe I need to pray a little bit more and do some fasting and read the Trump Bible, and maybe. But I don't know. As it stands right now, nope. I hold up a sign. How about that? I'll get a megaphone.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I'll have to go watch it. I just read the headline that a dude set himself on fire, like outside the courthouse or whatever. And I was like, what message is he trying to send? But other than that, I have no information about it.
Yeah, because it was in a nice sized area, at least like a 12 by 12 area. It looked like I saw a couple of benches, and it was barricaded off. And I'm like, didn't nobody see him what he was doing? But oh well, I guess I've never been to New York City, so I bet you see a lot of crazy stuff that people just keep it moving. Don't look, don't gawk, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, but all right. Remember, don't trust black people, and Donald Trump is our savior.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Brent. All right, that was Brent. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I'll watch it, but I don't know what the point of that was. Langston.
Hey, what's going on, Emanuel?
How you doing?
Doing pretty good, sir. After listening to Brett, I was going to actually chime in a little bit on the whole that debacle that was on. I have a hard time looking at that thing. But needless to say, I did want to talk about something else, though.
All right.
I started it with Lincoln, and I'm curious on your stance on this. And I told him I'd talk to him a later date in regards to the NAACP partnering with, I guess, CBS in regards to this soap opera they're going to produce. And I get it on the surface. To me, it sounds okay. But I think there's a problem there.
What's the problem?
And I think it has been a growing problem for any programs that want to advance black people. When you tend to tie yourself to large corporations, they tend to be your narrative of what you can and cannot say. So I'm thinking of all the things that are going on right now in the South in regards to TSU not being able to get all the funding that they were supposed to receive, And there has been not one representative of the NAACP that can raise their hand and say, hey, we need to take these guys to court. This is absolutely a violation. This is what the I think it was a federal investigation where they did a thorough investigation of the funds and said, yeah, you guys shorted these guys about $2 billion. They were supposed to release at least, I think the school just gave up on that and said, well, let's get half of the funding in regards to our school. That's when this state had a great idea and said, hey, instead of this board that we didn't appoint, let's just remove everybody from the board and we appoint the people that we want on that board. Of course, because of the state land grant school. And they can do so. And I say all that to say this. Anytime that you want to advance a situation that may not be what your counterparts like or agree with, if you give them enough coin, then how much can you really advance the cause? Does that make any sense? Maybe I was too excited and I didn't give you the key.
What you're saying makes sense. I understand what you're saying. I guess you'd have to know the details of the thing, right? So Langston, you are who you are, and say you're some organization or whatever, and I produce content. And you're like, you know what? Yeah. Me and my group, we're not represented enough. So you come to me and you say, Emanuel, we want to partner with you to produce some content that, maybe elevates whoever your community is and just puts images of your community out there. You don't necessarily have to sell out to me in order for me to say, you know what, Langston, that's a good idea. So let's partner. We'll produce the content, but you can be, kind of as a advisor. So if we're doing anything that's out of line, you can say, right, whoa, hold on, no, that's out of line. But it don't mean that I own you, Langston. It just means we're partnering together. So that's possible that could be the case. Without having any details of the partnership, it's kind of impossible for me to say, yeah, now they own them. Because at any point, the NAACP could say, all right, we out. Or CBS. NAACP takes a position that CBS doesn't like. They can say, we're no longer partnering with you. And that's fine.
And I agree with that. But I guess I'm just only using the timeline that I've, at my age, know anything about the NAACP. I think of where the NAACP was and where the NAACP is now. And I would say they're a far cry from where they were. Would you agree?
Yes. I would agree, but I would say things are different. Times have changed. And I think they have, maybe they're attempting to change with the times.
And I guess that's where again, I find the difference in it. If you're going to always be out there causing good trouble, there's no way it works because, again, it'll always bump up against another group that is more income driven, that they're looking for. Again, if we were to just really take off all this glamour and glitz of this new, and again, I want to support Black people, so of course I'm all for it. But if we take all the glitz and glam away from it, I really think they're playing the odds of if we do an all black soap opera, well, we know who watches TV during that time, and will our numbers spike? And I think it's a great marketing tool. All black, and you're going to get a large market, I think, that's going to watch it. Again, my problem is that when there are such inequality issues going on in our country as of now, will you be still as vocal? Or are you tied to it now because you've worked this into your income, and do you feel you're kind of handcuffed?
That's always
to this other entity.
Yeah, that's always a possibility, and so you need strong people to make sure that you don't lose focus of the mission for the money.
Exactly, and again, I think that And again, I want it to be better, and I'm still hopeful for it. But I think the NAACP is because maybe of funding. Same thing could be said for the Rainbow Push Coalition. When you start getting certain funding from certain groups, I think it kind of handicaps you in the sense of what you can and can't say. Because now, if I'm giving you millions of dollars, I may say, "Hey, I appreciate your message. I agree with what you guys are doing, but maybe you guys don't jump in on this situation, or maybe you don't give as much input on this, and so you go quiet. And when you go quiet, it makes you seem inept. And I just don't think that, especially in this day and time, again, groups like the NAACP or Rainbow Push Coalition, they should be handing that baton off to a new team, to a new, younger, invigorated group, i.e. what's going on at Columbia University, where we can continue to keep this message going. But again, if you're tied to the dollar to keep your doors open and keep the lights on, you kind of become inept.
But is it possible that this is what they perceive as maybe the next phase in their mission for the advancement of people of color? I don't want to say colored people. I just don't like the way it sounds. But maybe this is their next, like the idea of holding a press conference and doing a march and all of that kind of stuff some people would say largely ineffective. And so maybe they feel like now we've moved to the point where we're looking at the economics of it, black people getting into the production of this stuff, writing, acting, and controlling the narrative in terms of how we're portrayed in the media. And maybe we can do it in a way. Y'all know I like to bash Tyler Perry, so I'm gonna throw some Tyler Perry in here. Maybe we can do this in a way that they're not getting with Tyler Perry. Maybe we can do this in a way that they're not getting with some of this other stuff. And as we move forward in terms of advancing as a people, this is about controlling our image, controlling our narrative, and beginning to move to control some of those economics, even with a major corporation like CBS.
Yeah, I heard you saying we may have to agree to disagree, because again, I think if there's a greater hour for them to anyone that want to flex that they're still in the fight, that they're still willing to sue people that are screwing over black people, black entities of colleges and historical black universities, this just seems like the time to do it. And they've gone kind of quiet, I would say even dark, until when Lincoln brought to our attention about this black soap opera. And I guess I just, I would say from all the conversations that we'll continue to have is that, no one can afford to stay on the sidelines. Everyone can do something in this fight. If it's nothing but encouraging your neighbor to go out and vote, or encouraging to be active in whatever may be going on that could put your family or other people that look like you in jeopardy, we just can't play on the sidelines any longer. And I still feel that they're kind of still on the sidelines. And I think they could do better. And I'm hopeful. I'm always hopeful that we can always do better. So, yeah, that's all I got, bud.
All right.
Hey, you have a great evening, and we'll talk to you soon.
You do the same, Langston. Appreciate the call. Yeah, I have no details about it, and because of that, I can't really say what's like. Does the NAACP, are they controlling who the writers are? Are they, how much input do they have? Was it just a suggestion? And so they're saying to the NAACP, okay, that's a good suggestion. We might be able to make some money off of y'all. So, yeah, we'll say we're partners or, whatever. I don't have the details of what they're going to do. And I don't watch soap operas. So, there's that. Not a woman. Not a lady. I saw Janice ask about the Beverly Hillbillies. The Beverly Hillbillies being stereotypical. And she said she's just asking, so I get that. And I'm sure certainly there was some level of stereotyping when it came to, people from the mountains of whatever, Tennessee or wherever, hillbillies, that they were stereotyped. Here's why And even part of one of what my niece was arguing yesterday, that, hey, look, one of the things that I keep wanting to call him Seth Rogen, but Seth MacFarlane does in his Jeannie says plenty of men watch soap operas, not real men. One of the things that Seth MacFarlane does in some of his series is he likes the babies are actually human, and they have all of these human adults, and so they have all of these adult characteristics about them. I'm one who believes. Now, keep in mind, I actually do believe racism exists. I do. Hold on, let me clarify that. I was being sarcastic the other day. I honestly do believe racism exists. I believe it exists. I believe it's not as out in your face, as overt as maybe it was back in the day. But I believe, like they say, one of the greatest tricks that the devil ever pulled was convincing people that he didn't exist. I think that's kind of racism now. Like, I can do racist stuff. And I'm not talking about just, I left a note on your car. I mean, actual things to exert power over you based on race. But as long as I do it in such a way that I can justify it some other way, I believe that still exists. Unlike some people, I honestly believe that still exists. Now, I believe our images as black people, our images are more important to us than those other people's images, right? So, because we have been so underrepresented and the images put out there of us have been so negative for so long, we have to be more protective of our image. See, that's why you can have all different kinds of shows for white people. They're going to show them making money as CEOs, as presidents and all of that kind of stuff, and as hillbillies. They're going to show them, and you're going to see the entire spectrum of whitehood in America. So because you're going to see it all, and it's all going to be so in your face, like some of it is going to be realistic, some of it is going to be over the top, you get a well-rounded view of white people. For real, if you just watch TV, like if you were an alien and you came to America and you just turned on the TV and that was how you were going to learn about white people, you walk away thinking some of them are very smart and successful. A lot of them. Some of them are really silly. Some of them are really dumb. You know what I'm saying? You get, like, there are all kinds of them and they're out there. News too. Watch the news, because you got to include that. That's part of the media. So you to understand, some of them commit crimes. Some of them are good, upstanding citizens. Some of them are rich. Some of them are poor. Some of them are middle class. Some of them are really intelligent. Some of them are not so smart. There's some hillbillies. There's some racists. There's some this. Now, that same alien comes and he watches the history of television for black Americans. What are they going to think? What are they going to think? They're going to think these some buffoons. Every once in a while you'll get one that succeeds, but overall, they're downtrodden, they're buffoons, they're not smart, they don't work, all of that stuff, they're criminals, all of that stuff. That would be the overwhelming message that they would get. And because of that, we have to be more protective of our image in the media. So you can do Family Guy and make the baby, I forget even the little baby name in Family Guy, but make him be this little insidious whatever. He still ain't doing fentanyl on no regular basis. But you could do that. But you can't do that for us because our image has been so tainted. And again, y'all have to understand, I know it's 2026, but there are people even today in America who've never interacted with black people. I tell this story all the time. And thank you, Stewie. That's his name. I tell this story all of the time. I worked at a meat packing plant in my 20s. And there was a young girl. There was a girl who worked there. And when she came to work there, she told me this. Before I came to work here, she said she grew up like in the back hills of Ross. I don't even know if that's such a thing. I don't think that's the exact terminology she used. She lived in a trailer park in Ross, Ohio. And she said she never had one interaction with a black person. She saw one or two, but she never had an interaction with a black person until she came. This was her first job. And she worked at this job. There are white people out there who have never had a real interaction with black people. Now, I don't know any black people. I'm not saying it don't exist, but I don't know any black people who've never interacted with white people. The cashier or, something, you've had some interaction with white people. She had never in her life. So guess where she got all of her information about black people? Watching TV. The images of us that she saw on television were her image of us. And that's why, that's part of the reason why, we have to protect that image. Now, it don't mean, you can't be silly. It don't mean you can't, some of that stuff, it is what it is. You're going to get a broad spectrum, but you can't go too over the top negative, in my opinion. This is all my opinion. You can't go too over the top negative with all of these stereotypes, pack them all in this one thing and say, here. So was Married with Children? Was there racial stereotypes in there? Sure, the dumb blonde, the jock who can't move past his high school years, the lazy wife, all of that stuff. Yeah, it was in there. Yes. But they can have that in there. Because look at all of the other shows that was on TV that said they're good, they're rich, they're intelligent, they're fun, they're funny, they're hardworking, they're all of this other redeeming qualities that exist. But what about black people who harm other black people? Ain't that racist? No. It's criminal. Unless they're doing it based on race. Well, they ain't shooting up white people because they're probably not beefing with white people gangs in their neighborhood or whatever. I'm not a gang dude. And I will not be on here glorifying gangs. I won't do it. I'm not glamorizing it and I'm not glorifying it. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad for our community. Maybe the reason that some of the stuff started was different, but it is not that anymore. And when we sit around here, talking about how big and bad, it's because people, they're not glorifying gangs. Yes, they are. Because I'm not in a gang. Well, see, you use a square and use a this and use a that. It's never like, oh, well, you were intelligent enough to not get caught up in that world. It's always something derogatory about you because you did not become a member of that culture. That's glorifying. I'm not trying to glorify, but you are. But you are. I won't do it. Key,
Hey, what's going on, Emanuel? How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Okay, you hung up on me yesterday.
I did
Yeah, at
accidentally
least
hang
you
up.
admitted it. Well, how your grandbaby? She doing okay?
She's doing good. She's
Oh,
doing good.
okay.
She
Now
over there
you
on
had a
the
bad
elliptical.
dream one time the other night, and now she have bad dreams. What's going on? You rubbing off on your bad mojo on her?
I don't like the way that sounds.
What?
You rubbing off? I'm not rubbing off on her at all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You rubbing your
I don't
bad
like the way that
mojo off on
sounds.
her.
No, that sounds horrible. But no, I don't know what happened to her. She, had a bad dream, and then she said she didn't have a bad dream, but she was sure enough crying like something was wrong and couldn't say what was wrong. That
So
sounds
was
like
she dreaming when she was crying? Was she sleeping when she was crying, or she just was crying because of something else? And you
No,
thought
she was
asleep?
she was crying before she woke up, and then when she
Oh.
woke up, then it intensified a little bit.
Oh, okay. Get it together over there, making her be sad and stuff. Probably because you was talking about her on that elliptical, that she thought she was doing something, and she was in her dreams like doing the elliptical, working it out, and you was like, "Girl, you ain't," and then it made her cry. See, she was thinking about that elliptical. She heard
She
you.
said her neck hurt. So I massaged her neck for her.
Okay, well, that'll do it. I heard you saying something about being sarcastic. So you realize you said something that was sarcastic. See, you thought about it, huh? Remember yesterday we were talking? What you mean, huh? You forgot about what we were talking about yesterday?
Well, no, you didn't say. Wait, I mean, you did say sarcastic.
I say you be doing stuff that's sarcastic, and you was like, somebody else said that, and I can't think off the top of my head, and I said, I just said like, oh, so you remembered something you did.
Key.
What?
I need to correct you.
Okay.
The discussion that we were having yesterday is you said I'm condescending.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes, I acknowledge sarcasm. I acknowledge that. Sure. I think that's a good tactic.
Yeah, you do that all the time.
To get people to see the ridiculousness of their position. You agree with a ridiculous position, then a lot of times people will be like, well, no, I'm not saying that.
Hey,
and you're like, really, that is exactly what you're saying. All I did was agree with you.
Bentley?
What?
Okay. Yeah. You do it all, Emanuel, you know.
But you still can't tell me when I've been condescending.
Well, you sarcastic a lot. Put it like that. Okay? And condescending too. Maybe not as much as sarcastic, but
I am sarcastic. But again, sarcastic is in my opinion, it's a great tool when you say, I believe this. And then I say, okay, I agree with you. I believe this. And then you're like, well, no, I don't agree with that. But that's just what you said. So yes, I'm being sarcastic, but my sarcasm gets you to realize, and you try to figure out how to frame your position in such a way that it doesn't sound as ridiculous as it was, but the sarcasm helps you realize the ridiculousness of your position, sure.
Okay, then you say, yesterday, Thomas, so maybe you're not that smart. So if you figuring all that out or whatever and trying to do all that, you trying to prove you smart or what?
No, I'm not. I'm just, I don't, look, maybe some of y'all think I'm smart. I think I'm just a regular, rational thinking person. And I don't think you have to have any sort of elevated intelligence level to do that, to just be able to think rationally and hopefully get other people not to agree with you, but to at least look at their position from a rational point of view, and then maybe it might enhance their position, but a lot of times what it does is it makes people see the flaws in their position so you can go back and assess. And not that I'm, the arbiter of right and wrong, but, a lot of times I can tell silly ridiculousness when I hear it.
Oh, okay. Let me read Jason B513 comment. He told me to start reading the comments. You're the caller, not the host. Okay, first of all, Jason, Emanuel, is it okay so I can say this?
Sure, you can fuss with Jason.
Okay. First of all, if you must not be listening when I call in. I'm not in the chat. I'm not on Facebook or YouTube in the chat. So that's my way of communicating with people in the chat that say hey to me. So that's what that is, and I'm going to keep doing it. So get over it, or just hang up when I call. Okay, continue, Emmanuel.
I was done.
Okay. Well, what's your topic? Right, LaDonna.
I was talking about, or I guess my main topic today was I don't understand the benefits for some people to always point out the negatives of black people in particular when people are discussing the negatives of white people. There's a group of black people who, you know what I'm saying, if I said white people are on welfare, well, so is black people on welfare, you know. If I said white people are racist, well, but black people don't, no matter what you say, there's a group of people that's going to find a way to make black people worse than anybody else, and I don't understand what they get out of doing that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and I don't know if this is like in this under the same context, but I remember when one of my supervisors one time, he was white, he was like saying like hello to people, like just speaking in the morning, and then all of a sudden he just started saying like what's up when he would speak to me. And I looked at him, I was like, I like good morning, how are you? Hello, how are you? I would never say like what's up. Like I was just like, why he saying that to me? Instead of just saying like good morning or hello, how are you? He just was like, what's up?
Was he white?
Yeah, that's why I say he was white.
But would you have said something if a black person said what's up? See, that's the problem. You want to talk about what the white man did, but what about what black people do?
Hey, Nate.
I'm sorry. That's what I hear when I hear that. Like, come on now.
Oh, magician, Jason, that's how I'm doing it.
There is room to talk about the flaws of black people and the things that black people need to do, but it's like a deflection from, and I'm not saying, oh, black people are always the victim and black people can't get ahead because of racism. You know, sometimes that's true. Black people are sometimes the victim, and sometimes the victims of racism, and there are racist people attempting to hold black people back. That's true, but I'm not saying that's always the case. But to diminish it and, you know, to try to discard that at every turn, I don't get what you get out of it. There's a place to say, you know, look, that's true. I mean, you know, racism exists and it's insidious and, you know, something has to be done about it. And in another conversation say, hey, black people, what are we doing in our community? Why do we settle for this and why do we settle for that? Now, imagine me coming on here talking about the responsibility of black people in the community to turn in criminals. And, you know, to say when you don't sit there and watch some black man brutalize some little black girl. And then if I jumped in like, well, white people do it. Well, you ain't talking about white people who do it. White people do it. It's like, dude, stop. What are you getting out of that? I'm talking to the community, trying to get the community to be responsible for the actions that go on in their community. What do I get out of attempting to distract that conversation? I don't understand it. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, that's a mess.
It frustrates me.
I see, because you raising your voice, whatnot, you going to have your throat acting all crazy and stuff. As you must not be singing this weekend.
Well, I'm not, but I have, when the doctor gave me those prescription strength Claritin, I'm going to call it. When the doctor gave me that, she said it'll be about 3 months before you good. I'm about a month in. I just got my re-up on my prescription. So I'm about a month in. And you see the coughing is virtually gone. And, you know, my voice is stronger. and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm all right with. I think the doctor might have been on to something. I think I'm on track.
Oh, okay. You think so?
Yeah.
So if you start coughing again in a month, you gonna say you gonna call her B? That B was wrong.
I would never say that.
You be saying that. There you go.
Never say
You be saying the B.
Gee, I would never say that.
What would you say then?
I don't know, but I definitely would not use that terminology towards a woman.
Oh, okay. Hey, Nathaniel Livingston. Do you like Nathaniel or do you like Nate? I just say Nathaniel because I don't know which one you prefer. But yeah, I just be calling just to get a laugh and make people laugh. And that Jason, I wondered, is that the same Jason that was getting them shirts from you? If that was, I thought he was my buddy. And he always used to be telling me to call in. If that's the same Jason, he done flipped the script.
Well, I don't think he flipped the script necessarily. I think what he was doing was offering a suggestion how to be much more effective with your calls.
But he must not know that's my thing. That's what I do when I call.
Well,
and if he been listening from the beginning, and then remember you were saying remember how I was saying, is it okay to do that? You was like, yeah, this our show or whatever. And I'm like, okay, but I guess some people don't like that. To each his own.
No. See, he was trying to help, and apparently there was a misunderstanding. You'd explained it to him, and now he knows.
But I explained it it must have been one day I said that he must not been on. He must not been on here.
He might not have been.
Okay, well, Jason, that's what's going on. I don't be on Facebook or YouTube in the chat. So I am on one of them platforms, which is YouTube, but I'm not in the chat. So people, when they be saying stuff to me, I can't type in, hey, such and such, hey, such and such, so I shout them out on the line.
You actually
That's
can. You can, on YouTube, you can type in, hey, such and such.
I know, but you know I'm not doing that because you know how many stalkers I got. And do you be watching the chat?
You ain't got no stalkers.
Do you not be watching the chat? They be on me.
People. No, that's
you see why Chelsea said what she said yesterday.
Those are not stalkers. Those are just people who want to get to know you. Just because somebody want to get to know you.
No, you must not be reading what they be saying. You must not be reading what they saying.
What are they saying that's stalkerish? Hey, I want to meet you.
No, they talking about I want that monkey and be saying inappropriate stuff. That's not like
that's
the only person that says.
They tell me a closed mouth don't get fed, and they just let you know.
Be quiet, man.
That's not being a stalker. That's just
being a stalker, and some of the stuff I don't like.
I agree, it's inappropriate, but that's not stalking.
I call it stalk because they was flaming up the chat because I was ignoring certain people. They was flaming up the chat, kept flaming up the chat. So yeah. So no, I prefer it this way.
All right.
So is that okay with you, Emmanuel? And you sent your niece Chelsea in the comments. She know.
I did.
That's why she said what she said.
I did not. See
they be on her too.
Oh, I didn't see what she said.
You did because you read it. You just forgot when she was saying about your husband. She was like, "Stop talking to Emmanuel and read the chat because you could be missing out on your future husband."
Yeah.
No, Emmanuel, leave me alone.
Why?
You a mess, Carolyn. He a mess, ain't
You won't even tell us if you're currently seeing somebody. So
I'm gonna keep it that way.
If you say it, because these guys, maybe a few of them, hold on. If somebody's saying to you, hey, can I get that monkey? They might not care. But
right, that's what I'm saying. But the only one that was kind of respectful was B-Rad when he was asking, could he take me out? He the only one that came about it the nice way. But then the next day, he started trying to get with Marquetta.
There were plenty of other people who were respectful of him.
No, they weren't.
Yes,
no, they weren't.
And they just wanted to get to know Ron.
Who?
Ron, for example.
No, Ron, no.
What?
No, he wasn't. Ron was being disrespectful.
Ron was not being. What did Ron do or say that was disrespectful?
He said something about how he be over here with me and all that other stuff.
He was just being silly because we had discussed that. Now, come on, you can't be you.
Don't be trying to hype these people up. Ron is not in my age preference.
What is your age preference?
Ron, no, the stuff Ron be talking about, he older than me, and then also the stuff he be talking about that he done. No, that's not.
Okay,
No,
what is your age preference?
I'm nothing. Right, Jason. They is wild. That I don't be on all that silly.
But what is your age
stuff.
preference?
Emmanuel, you know
There is nothing wrong
I
with-
come to spread joy. That's what I do when I call. I ain't come to do the love connection.
Nothing wrong with giving your age preference. Then that way the guys who
Oh,
are
so he a
not in
trip.
your age preference will leave you alone.
Grant, look at him.
Okay, would you date a younger man?
Emmanuel.
Would you date a younger man? That's all I'm asking.
Emmanuel, even if I say I had somebody, they still would be
No,
like
I think
that in the chat.
people would respect that and leave you alone.
No, because when I said I had somebody a long time ago, they still was commenting.
That's
because
because that was not believable. But
how come it was? Oh, Emmanuel, how was that not believable?
well, because if I say
Dang.
no, because if I say, are you dating somebody, and you like, I don't want to say, are you dating somebody? I don't
No,
know.
I
Are you
said
dating-
yes.
and then
I
you
said I'm
finally like,
alright.
okay,
I
yeah,
said yes,
dating
I'm
somebody
alright.
now.
No, I said yes, I'm alright. Emmanuel, stop trying to add extra stuff.
No, you.
You add extra stuff, and then remember when I said a long time ago, I said you supposed to hook me up. I say Dave Stinger, and you never hooked me up. And then I was like telling people why you can't hook me up with Dave Stinger.
I
You never
can't make
said.
that man. I have not had.
It ain't
contact.
about making them.
I've not had contact with that man in a minute. How weird would it be for me to just call Dave Stinger out the blue? Like, I ain't talked to you in 6 months, but I want to hook you up
Chelsea,
with
get
somebody.
your uncle. Alrighty, man. I'm through with
But
you.
what is your age preference?
I'm through messing with you.
What is your age? I'm just asking about an age preference. That's a simple
Spread and
question.
joy. That's my age preference.
What?
Whatever age that is, spread and joy. Like Preston said.
All right.
You a hot mess. What I'm gonna do with you?
I don't know. You can hook up with Ron.
Right, LaDonna. He's not gonna admit that.
You can hook up with Ron, and then that would make me happy.
Right. Thanks, my
Because
ocean.
you would have somebody, Ron would have somebody. He would probably
Why you keep talking about Ron?
He would probably a lot more relaxed and wouldn't be cussing me out every day.
No, I thought Ron, you was gonna hook him up with Yvonne, so they can eat a sandwich together.
Well, you sound a lot like Yvonne to me, so that's close enough.
Stop lying.
It's
You
close
sn-
enough. And you
Stop
hook
lying.
up. Key, just think. Hold on, just
Hell,
hear me
let's
out.
get him together.
You hook up with Ron. You put it on him.
Right,
Ron
James.
relaxes. Ron relaxes. While he's right
Are y'all
afterwards.
hearing this?
Right afterwards,
T.
you
Mikey.
just tell him, don't vote for Trump. And that'll stick in his brain. He relaxes. Next thing you know, he's calling in. We're having regular old calm conversations.
Brenda Early.
And he's not
Emmanuel,
like
hot mess.
he's not a Trump fanatic anymore.
Lamar, chill out.
Now, you might get punched in the head once or twice, but that's a small price to pay. That's a small price to pay for
Emmanuel.
the cause. Sometimes
see,
you got to take one for the cause.
See, now he know he really being sarcastic on this right here.
Oh boy,
He,
I'm
you
just,
made
Ron, I'm just
you-
teasing. I don't think you
you tickling yourself, huh?
I'm just
you
teasing. I'm just
You
teasing.
just tickled yourself, huh?
I did.
Ron even cracking up.
I did. That tickled me. Yes, it did.
I'm gonna get you back. You better not wear nothing crazy next week, cause I'm capping.
Yeah, all right.
What about that purple rain shirt you had on the other day?
What
That purple
rain
collar. It was some purple collar shirt. I meant to call you Purple Rain.
That is so funny.
I was gonna say you had a blouse on.
That is
Leave me alone.
that is hilarious.
Because it's not happening right now. That's why you can't laugh.
I'm telling you, it's hilarious.
Christian,
Inside,
you're right. Look at him.
inside, I am cracking up.
Now, whatever happened to them homeless people that was camped out by your house?
They still out there.
Okay, so what happened to why you ain't get them the Girl Scout cookies?
Why would I
That
give
you
him
talking about
some
you had?
perfectly good Girl Scout cookies that I
Because
can
you
eat?
said you didn't want to eat them all. So what did you do with it? You probably ate them all.
No, I
Greedy,
still got some
greedy
of them.
Petey.
I break them out when I'm in the mood for some cookies and I don't have cookies.
Greedy Petey. Okay. All right, Emanuel. Okay, I'm through with you before you start bringing up something else.
Key, you enjoy your weekend.
I will. You too. What you got planned for the weekend?
Most of my weekend will be spent in the shop because I got an order that I have to have out by Saturday night. And it's a pretty big order, so I got to do that. Actually, I got 2 orders that I had to have out, but one's really small. One will be done probably an hour from now, and the other one is a pretty big order. So, and then I think I'm going to a party on Saturday somewhere.
Okay, you going to the Lincoln Wear party? You
No.
just don't want us to know?
No, I'm
You
definitely
gonna
not.
be in the house?
I'm definitely
Yeah.
not going to that party.
Why? Why you say definitely not?
First, I'm pretty sure that I'm not allowed in the sense that they don't want me there, and I'm comfortable with that.
You
Secondly,
ain't say do.
no. Secondly, I don't want to drive up to Hollywood Casino to hang out with Lincoln.
It ain't gonna be just Lincoln. It's gonna be Blade up there supposedly and some other people
Yeah.
that listen to the buzz.
Okay. I don't want to do that, and I just don't want to go.
What's B-Rad real name? I think he called Lincoln talking about he was gonna be there and he had a date. Is his real name Brian?
I think so. You should go.
No, he got a date.
No, what? You don't have to be dating somebody to go to the Lincoln Ware thing.
I know. I got plans.
Oh, okay.
I do got plans. You don't believe me, do you?
But what you doing this weekend?
I can't tell you that because then people be all in my business.
But you don't mind people being all in my business.
You sometimes you don't mind them being in your business either.
Oh my goodness.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Now you see how I feel when people be asking you questions about your personal stuff and you don't want to give up.
But I told you.
You don't be telling the truth though on some stuff. I know.
I always tell the truth.
No, you don't.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Who is Dave Stinger to you?
A guy that I worked with.
Okay. Blink twice if you tell the truth.
I tell nothing but the truth.
All right, man.
TROOF all day.
That's what you say. Twin birthday today, from what I heard on TV. So everybody flame up Twin. Tell him happy birthday. Tell him Keith sent you. And that's all. That's it. Happy birthday. That's all.
All right, Key. I appreciate your call. Have a great week.
All right. You too. Be safe. All right.
See, now I won't hang up on her. All right. That was Key. Y'all, I got to get ready to get out of here. Enjoy y'all weekend. And maybe he'll see this at some point. And he called yesterday as the show was going off. I didn't get to his call yesterday. Twin, happy birthday to you and your twin. Hope y'all enjoy the day in a responsible way. You know what I'm saying? Don't revert back to that gang stuff. No shooting in the air. You know, none of that kind of stuff. I don't know that they gang members do that. They might shoot up in the air. I don't know that they say, but no gang stuff. Pure responsible partying. All right. For everybody else, look, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Don't hurt nobody. Don't be lying on people, Marquetta. Don't be running around lying on people. If you lose a debate, just be graceful about it. Like, he got the best of me this time. He might have even been wrong. Just, he talked louder than me. Whatever. Well, he got the best of me. You ain't got to lie. Y'all know that bothers me. When people lie on me, it bothers me. Tell the truth on me. That won't bother me. You lie on me, it bothers me. Whatever the truth is, I'm comfortable with it. You lie on me, it bothers me. Why y'all hating? Y'all know gang members do that type stuff. Y'all know gang members do that kind of stuff. But all right, I got to get out of here. Get to work. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all weekend. As you're out and about, doing whatever it is that you do, be the reason that somebody smiles. Till next time, I'm out, y'all. Peace.